Imagine for a moment that there are two versions of you walking through life. One of them is the weak version, the one that hesitates, doubts, delays, avoids, and settles. The version that hides your potential behind excuses, that waits for the right moment, that keeps telling you that your dreams can start tomorrow. And then, there is the strong version of you, the one you know exists, the version you occasionally see in your best moments, the one that thinks clearly, walks confidently, and acts decisively. The version that could completely reshape your future if only it were in control more often. Here's the truth. Every day of your life, every decision you make, every habit, every thought, every response is determined by which version of you wins the internal battle. And this video is about learning how to defeat the weak version of yourself, not with force, not with punishment, not with guilt, but with clarity, awareness, and a mindset so powerful that the weak version simply loses its influence. Because the real enemy is not outside you. It's not society, it's not the economy, it's not your past, or your circumstances, or your limitations. The real enemy is the version of you that keeps holding you back from the life you were meant to live. And the moment you understand that, the moment you learn how to defeat that lesser version, your entire life will begin to expand in a way you never thought possible. So today, we are going to break down exactly how to do that. Not with hype, not with cliches, but with Nightingale-level clarity, the kind of timeless mindset shift that creates real, measurable transformation. If you're ready, let's begin. Most people spend their entire lives wrestling with the weak version of themselves without ever realizing it. They blame circumstances when the real issue is their internal orientation, their mindset, their habits, their patterns, their beliefs. Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about." But what he didn't add, what we often forget, is that we also become what we allow ourselves to think about. The weak version of you is not bad. It is not immoral. It is not evil. It is simply afraid of uncertainty, discomfort, rejection, effort, and change. And understanding it is the first step to defeating it. The weak version thrives on three things. 1. Comfort over progress. The weak version always chooses what is easy, familiar, and predictable. It avoids growth because growth demands discomfort, and discomfort feels unsafe. But here is the paradox. Your greatest opportunities always exist outside the borders of your comfort. The weak version whispers, "Rest a little longer. Start next week. This is good enough. Don't risk embarrassment. Someone else is more qualified." This inner dialogue feels protective, but it isn't protection. It is prevention. Prevention from the life you want. 2. Doubt over action. The weak version of you has mastered the art of hesitation. It tells you that conditions must be perfect before you begin. But nothing great ever began perfectly. It began imperfectly, humbly, quietly, and then it grew through action. Every time doubt delays action, the weak version gains strength. Every time you act despite doubt, the strong version rises. 3. Identity forgetfulness. This is the most dangerous one. The weak version makes you forget who you truly are. It makes you forget your resilience, your talent, your intelligence, your ability to adapt and overcome, your ability to grow and rise beyond your current circumstances. It convinces you that you are smaller than your potential, and once you accept that belief, everything around you shrinks to match it. Why most people never escape their weak version? Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunities, not because they lack intelligence or ambition, but because they lack clarity. They never stop to examine which version of themselves is making decisions. And life becomes a pattern, a predictable loop where the weak version quietly takes control. Most people try to fix their results without fixing their identity. They try to change their habits without changing their mindset. They try to create a new future while carrying the same old beliefs. Nightingale taught that success is not about force, it is about alignment. When you align your thoughts, beliefs, habits, and actions with the strong version of yourself, success becomes a natural outcome. Not an accident, not a stroke of luck, a consequence. The turning point. The moment you realize this, something powerful happens. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop hoping for change from the outside. You start recognizing that the weak version of you can only survive if you feed it. With excuses, with delays, with fear, with doubt, with hesitation. The strong version can only grow when you feed it with action, clarity, purpose, and discipline. This awareness alone is life-changing. But understanding is only the beginning. To truly defeat the weak version of yourself, you must replace its patterns with a new internal strategy, a new operating system for your life. And that is where we now go. The weak version of you disappears not when you fight it, but when you outgrow it. Here are the practical, psychological, and life-changing steps that allow you to evolve into the strong version of yourself. 1. Build a strong identity, not just strong habits. Habits matter, but identity is stronger than habits. When your identity says, "I am a disciplined person," "I am a focused thinker," "I am someone who follows through," "I am someone who finishes what I start," your actions naturally follow. You don't force yourself, you express yourself. The weak version collapses when your identity rises. 2. Use the 5-second window. Every action you take has a moment, a tiny space where the weak version tries to take over. You think, go to the gym, open the laptop, make that call, turn off distractions, get back to work. And suddenly, the weak version whispers, maybe later. The solution? Act before the weak version gains momentum. Count down from 5 and move. Action interrupts doubt. Action builds the strong identity. Action weakens the inner resistance. 3. Make discomfort your compass. Here's something powerful. The strong version of you lives on the other side of discomfort. So instead of avoiding it, use it as a guide. If something feels slightly uncomfortable, not dangerous, just uncomfortable, it usually means it is an opportunity for growth. The weak version seeks comfort. The strong version seeks capacity. 4. Design a daily system that makes success automatic. The weak version loves chaos. It thrives in disorganization, randomness, and lack of structure. The strong version thrives in clarity. Create small but powerful daily systems. A morning routine, a work block, a reflection session, a clear goal written daily, a list of priorities, a distraction-free workspace. Systems protect you from the pull of the weak version. 5. Protect your mindset like your future depends on it. Because it does. Everything you consume, videos, conversations, environments, social media, habits, is food for either the strong version or the weak version. You are always feeding one. Choose wisely. Consume content that feeds your ambition, not your distraction. Engage with people who stretch your thinking, not shrink it. 6. Stop negotiating with limiting thoughts. The weak version wins through negotiation. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. This is good enough. It's too late now. Do not negotiate. Decide. Once you decide, the mind becomes silent, and the strong version steps forward. 7. Become consistent with small wins. Big success is built on small daily victories. When you accumulate small wins, your belief rises, your confidence rises, your momentum rises, your self-image rises, and the weak version loses ground. Small wins destroy self-doubt faster than any motivational speech ever could. 8. Study yourself like a scientist. Ask yourself, when does the weak version of me usually show up? Is it late at night? When you're tired? When you're stressed? When you're overwhelmed? When you face uncertainty? Identify the pattern. Break the pattern. Self-awareness is the strongest tool of transformation. 9. Master the art of the second attempt. The weak version doesn't just show up once. It comes back again and again and again. But here is the secret. You don't need to win every battle. You only need to win the next one. If you fail, try again immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, immediately. This is how the strong version becomes your default self. 10. Live according to a vision greater than your excuses. Your excuses come from the weak version. Your vision comes from the strong one. When your vision is clear, deep, compelling, meaningful, the weak version has no power over you. A person with a purpose becomes unstoppable, not because they are forceful, but because they are aligned. Purpose is the ultimate strength. Purpose dissolves hesitation. Purpose makes consistency natural. If you've listened this far, it means something powerful. There is a version of you that is ready for transformation. A version of you that knows there is more in you than you've been using. A version of you that is ready to rise, to grow, to evolve. The weak version of you has had its time. It has kept you safe, but it has also kept you small. Now begins the season where the strong version takes over, where your actions reflect your potential, where your decisions reflect your purpose, where your identity reflects the future you want to build. So, as you walk away from this video, remember, your life does not change when everything around you changes. Your life changes the moment you change. The moment you decide to defeat the weak version and step fully into the person you were meant to become.